Why wasn't Cemre Arda there? And why did Gökberk Yıldırım's cool presence at the dinner leave everyone whispering? Welcome to Secrets Behind the Stars. Before we dive into this whirlwind, make sure you're subscribed and tuned in, friends. Tonight, we're pulling back the curtain on the private cast dinner that had the entire Eşref Rüya set buzzing. The cameras flashed, the laughter echoed, photos were snapped, but an unmistakable absence turned the glow of the night into a storm of questions. Cemre Arda didn't show up. And Gökberk Yıldırım, there, poised and polished, kept a noticeable distance that only fanned the flames. What truly happened? Were the whispers of arrogance, tension, and rivalry the truth? Or is there a deeper story no one dared to tell? Get comfortable, we've gathered the soft-spoken confessions, the sudden shifts in mood, and the reactions that shot across social media in seconds. Let's begin. Unexpected friction on the Eşref Rüya set. Gökberk's silence, Cemre's absence, and the real narrative behind that dinner. Even before its premiere, Eşref Rüya has been the new season's favorite conversation piece, and the recent private gathering of the cast only amplified the obsession. The night should have been simple: a luxe venue, a carefully curated guest list, and a team eager to bond before the cameras roll for real. But when Cemre Arda, half of the duo everyone had been waiting to see together, was nowhere in sight, curiosity spiraled into speculation. Meanwhile, Gökberk Yıldırım, front and center, smiled for a few photos and then slipped into a thoughtful quietude that got people talking just as loudly as Cemre's missing seat. The first images, posted before the main course even hit the table, sparked a deluge of comments. Where is Cemre Arda? Gökberk looks good, but is something off? Are we witnessing a split? The questions spread faster than the official shots from the venue. Yet behind the whispers lay something less obvious: the real dynamics of two stars who know the weight of attention and the cost of every move they make. Why did a simple dinner become headline fuel? Because this wasn't just any pair. From the moment Eşref Rüya announced that Gökberk Yıldırım and Cemre Arda would share the screen, the conversation exploded. Two dominant forces, two powerful followings, both known for their impact. Who would shine brighter, and how would their energies collide or merge on a project this hyped? Naturally, the stakes were sky high. So when one appeared and the other didn't, it felt less like a scheduling hiccup and more like a defining moment. Cemre's absence quickly became the evening's defining mystery. In the first 24 hours, the theories multiplied. Some said she was unwell. Others insisted she'd been booked for a campaign shoot that ran late. But the narrative that captured the loudest attention was the most dramatic. Was there a fissure between Cemre and Gökberk? Only days before, in an interview sprinkled with poise, Cemre praised Gökberk. Working with Gökberk is reassuring from a disciplined standpoint. He protects his space and his partner's space with real intention. Her words sounded respectful, grounded, and deliberate. But the internet read between the lines, as it always does. Many claimed it felt like polite distance. Elegant, careful, but not warm. Her absence from the dinner added weight to that interpretation. Had the calm tone been a shield for something cooler and private? Or was it simply a professional acknowledgement of two very different artists keeping their process intact? Then there was Gökberk, the evening's other focal point. He greeted, he posed, he spoke to those closest to the table, and then he pulled back. Not out of rudeness, say insiders, out of focus. He kept conversation light, chose his moments carefully, and let the rest unfold around him. Some on the team quietly noted that Gökberk has always been an observer when he's deep in preparation, less eager to small talk and more willing to sit with the role. Others remembered a more social version of him from previous sets. The shift triggered new rumors. Was he diving too far into his darker character for Eşref Rüya? Did the vibe change because Cemre wasn't there to balance his energy? And then, predictably, the harshest tag of all, arrogance. A few online voices claimed he refused photos with certain staff, while those at the table countered that accusation immediately. He wasn't dismissive, one attendee told us. He just doesn't perform in crowded spaces. He keeps the focus tight. In a climate where perception gets edited in real time, every subtle choice becomes a headline. The idea of them being a distant couple didn't arise overnight. When the first promotional images dropped, some viewers swore they felt a certain restraint between them, poised, attractive, but measured. Cemre, well loved for her open warmth and ability to kindle instant chemistry in romantic dramas, appeared more contained. And with Gökberk stepping into a role with weighty, brooding layers, the duo projected a seriousness that some interpreted as detachment. The empty chair at the dinner hardened that narrative. Were whispers of rivalry rooted in anything real? That question stole the show. They're both at the top, of course there's competition. Cemre doesn't want to be overshadowed. Gökberk won't let the spotlight move. These were the kinds of comments that multiplied, even as they rested on thin air. What we did hear from those close to the production was intriguing. In the early stretch of Eşref Rüya, Gökberk's character carries a deep, stormy arc, while Cemre's trajectory is designed to build slowly and strike hard later. To some, that script structure became a symbol of rivalry. Was it causing tension? Or was it the exact nature of a smart narrative that allows both leads to explode at different times? Whether true or not, the speculation did one thing perfectly: it raised the volume on the show. Cemre's silence added fuel. She didn't post a single explanation the night of the dinner. For someone who usually clarifies scheduling conflicts, a photo shoot running long, a set change, a flight out of town, a brand obligation, the quiet felt deliberate. Did she choose not to validate the noise with attention? Was her silence the message? Or did she simply decide to rest the night away and let Monday's work speak for itself? No one confirmed anything, which made everyone talk more. So what's up with Gökberk? Sources close to his preparation say he's gone fully inward for this role. If you think of him as the camera's confidant, remember he's equally comfortable vanishing behind the work when the lens is off. He's never been the loudest voice in the room. Calm, precise, and particular, that's the man, especially when the stakes are this high. But social media thrives on bold gestures and instantaneous warmth. A thoughtful pause looks like distance, a selective conversation looks like ego. And when the partner everyone expected to see wasn't there to reflect a softer edge, the internet drew its own conclusion. Is there really trouble? Or are we projecting? Put the puzzle together, their statements, the set rhythm, how each of them approaches craft, and another explanation emerges. There's no personal war, only two different creative speeds. Gökberk works from the inside out, guarding his focus like a flame in wind. Cemre, magnetic and approachable, grants energy generously and trusts the room. Together, those colors can look cool until the camera burns hot. And then, suddenly, that supposed distance becomes chemistry that doesn't need words. Why did this spiral so quickly? Because Eşref Rüya was already a giant. Every tiny expression, every missing face, every half-answer was ripe for dramatic retelling. Cemre vanished. Gökberk sat alone. The set froze. Those titles champion clicks, not truth. Yet they raced ahead of the night itself, feeding a cycle that keeps growing. And the louder the buzz, the bigger the expectations waiting at the premiere. What about what comes next? From what we've heard, the characters played by Cemre and Gökberk are on a collision course: slow burn tension, powerless attraction, and crackling conflict that deepens with every episode. The intensity of those scenes will demand absolute surrender from both stars. And when actors give themselves over that completely, the air around them changes. You can feel it between takes: stillness, focus, less chatter, more electricity. So what looks like distance today may soon reveal itself as the groundwork for a connection that leaves the audience breathless. You might even look back at this dinner and realize it foreshadowed everything. One evening, one empty chair, one perfectly timed photograph. Cemre's absence became a storm, and Gökberk's restraint became a target. Rivalry rumors sprinted through timelines, while the actual story may be far simpler: two professionals doing the work in their own ways, surrounded by expectations that swallow nuance whole. The truth is often quieter than the headlines. But it's also more interesting. Because when calm endurance meets luminous presence, screens glow brighter. And that glow is coming. If Eşref Rüya can dominate every conversation before a single episode airs, imagine the shockwaves when the performances land. Keep your eyes on the scenes where their gazes hold a beat longer than comfort allows, on the silences that tremble with what's unsaid, on the moments when power shifts without a spoken word. That's where these two excel. That's where the rumors will either melt away or transform into something more thrilling. Proof that distance and chemistry are two sides of the same flame. So here's the snapshot that remains after the flash fades. Cemre Arda skipped a dinner. Gökberk Yildirim stayed measured, even when the room wanted exuberance. The internet filled in the blanks with stories of frost and fire. But maybe the only real story is this: they're building something precise. Something that needs time, intention, and the kind of discipline that doesn't explain itself every minute. And when the curtain finally lifts, you'll see why it had to be this way. If you enjoyed the deep dive, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Secrets Behind the Stars, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. We'll be watching every move on the Eşref Rüya set and bringing you the details others miss. See you in the next video. Stay curious, stay kind, and stay ready for the moment the scene cuts through the noise. Happy birthday!